Gentlemen, I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow morning with the kind of firmness you haven't felt in years. Imagine feeling that youthful power and confidence return, not through some expensive prescription or complicated device, but through a method that is entirely natural and completely within your own control. No pills, no pumps, no risky treatments. Just using your own hands and a few minutes of simple, precise stimulation to wake up your body's natural erection mechanism. I'm Dr. Sophia Carter, a urologist with over a decade of experience helping men reclaim their sexual vitality. And today, I'm going to show you 3 specific pressure points on your manhood and surrounding area that can help restore morning erections by improving blood flow, relaxing the right muscles, and boosting nerve responsiveness. If you've been missing that automatic morning rise, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where these points are, how to stimulate them safely, and how often to do it for real results. Before we get into the where and how, you need to understand why this works. Because once you know the science behind it, you'll realize you're not just pressing on skin, you're tapping into one of the most powerful and intricate systems in the male body. Erections are not random or purely mechanical events. They are the result of a carefully coordinated dance between your brain, your spinal cord, your blood vessels, your nerves, and your muscles. It's a symphony of biological processes, and when one instrument is out of tune, the entire performance can falter. It all starts with nerve signals. Think of them as tiny electrical messages that travel at lightning speed from your brain or from sensory nerves in response to touch. These signals are the initial command, the spark that ignites the entire process. When you're aroused, either by a thought or a physical sensation, these messages are dispatched on a critical mission to travel down to the erectile tissue. Now, here's where it gets interesting and a little counterintuitive. What do these nerve signals actually do? They tell the smooth muscles inside the penis to relax. That's right, relaxation is the key to firmness. Normally, these muscles are tensed, which restricts blood flow. But when the nerve signals for arousal arrive, they trigger the release of chemicals, primarily nitric oxide, which acts as a powerful messenger telling these smooth muscle fibers to let go. As these muscles relax, the arteries that supply blood to the penis begin to widen and open up. This is a crucial step. Imagine turning a small tap into a fully open fire hose. This widening of the arteries allows a massive surge of blood to rush into the penis, far more than the amount that normally flows through it. This rush of blood floods into 2 spongy, tube-like chambers that run along the length of your manhood, known as the corpora cavernosa. As these chambers fill with blood under pressure, they begin to expand and elongate, causing the penis to become firm and erect. But that's only half the story. Getting the blood in is one thing, keeping it there is another. This is where the final, brilliant piece of engineering comes into play. As the corpora cavernosa swell with blood, they expand and press against the veins that are responsible for draining blood away from the penis. This pressure effectively compresses those veins, acting like a valve that shuts off the outflow. So, while blood is still being pumped in through the open arteries, very little of it can escape. It's this trapping of blood that creates the sustained pressure needed for a hard, lasting erection. So, to summarize this incredible process, it starts with a nerve signal, which causes muscle relaxation, which allows the arteries to widen. Blood then rushes in and fills the spongy chambers, which then expand and squeeze the exit veins shut, trapping the blood and creating firmness. It's a precise, step-by-step sequence. Understanding this process is the first step to reclaiming control over it, because every single one of these steps, from the nerve signals to the blood flow to the muscle response, can be influenced. And that's exactly what we're about to do. So, if that's how the system is designed to work, what goes wrong? Why does something that was once so automatic and effortless start to become less reliable? The answer, in large part, has to do with the subtle but persistent changes that happen in our bodies over time. Here's where age changes the game. First, let's talk about the blood vessels. Over time, the blood vessels in your pelvic region, including the arteries that feed the erectile tissue, can begin to stiffen. Think of a brand new garden hose. It's flexible and expands easily to allow a strong flow of water. Now, picture that same hose after years of being left out in the sun and cold. It becomes harder, less pliable, and more resistant to expansion. A similar process, known as arteriosclerosis, happens in our bodies. The arterial walls lose some of their youthful elasticity. This is a natural process, but it can be accelerated by years of wear and tear, mild, chronic inflammation, or common conditions like high blood pressure and high cholesterol. When these arteries become stiffer, they can't widen as effectively when the nerve signals for arousal arrive. The gateway for blood flow doesn't open as wide as it used to. This means that the initial surge of blood into the corpora cavernosa is reduced, making it more difficult to achieve the level of pressure needed for a fully rigid erection. The fire hose effect becomes more like a regular tap effect, but that's only one side of the coin. At the same time, another crucial change is happening with your nerves. Just as the physical hardware of your blood vessels can degrade, so can the electrical wiring of your nervous system. As we age, nerve conduction naturally slows down. Those lightning-fast electrical messages from your brain or sensory receptors don't travel quite as quickly or with the same powerful intensity as they once did. The insulation around the nerves, called the myelin sheath, can thin over time, causing the signal to lose some of its strength along the way. This means the initial command to relax the smooth muscles in the penis might arrive a little weaker or a little delayed. The message isn't as clear or as forceful, so the muscles may not relax as completely, further restricting the amount of blood that can enter. This creates a double hit: sluggish circulation from stiffer arteries and weaker nerve signals telling those arteries to open. It's one of the main reasons why spontaneous erections, especially the automatic morning erections that happen during sleep cycles, start to fade for men after 50 or 60. The system that once worked on autopilot now requires a stronger, more direct signal to get going. This gradual decline isn't a sign of failure. It's a physiological reality. However, it is not a reality you have to simply accept. The targeted pressure point stimulation we're about to discuss works precisely because it provides a direct, hands-on intervention to counteract these two age-related slowdowns. It sends a powerful, localized wake-up call that helps to bypass the weaker signals and manually encourage the blood flow that your body needs. It's a way of giving your natural system the targeted boost it needs to function at its best again. So how does simple pressure on a few specific spots manage to counteract years of physiological change? Targeted pressure point stimulation works because it sends an immediate, powerful wake-up call through your nervous system, bypassing some of the slowdowns that come with age. When you press or massage these specific points, you aren't just affecting the local area. You are activating dense clusters of sensory nerve endings that lie just beneath the skin. These are not just any nerves. They are directly connected to the major reflex pathways that are linked to erection control. Think of them as express lanes to your body's command center for erections. These signals don't just stay local. They travel to the pelvic nerve plexus, a critical network of nerves in your lower abdomen, and even up to the spinal cord's sacral region, which houses the primary erection center. This direct stimulation triggers a powerful chain reaction. The nervous system, jolted into action by this clear and strong signal, then tells the smooth muscle in the penis to relax, the arteries to widen, and the blood to flow more freely. You are essentially creating a powerful, localized command that reinforces the natural arousal signals from your brain. Think of it like resetting a computer that has become slow and laggy. Over time, programs can get sluggish and the system doesn't respond as quickly. Sometimes a simple, direct reboot is all it needs to clear the lag, refresh the signals, and let the hardware and software work together smoothly again. In the same way, this type of stimulation can retrain your erectile reflexes, improve vascular flexibility, and even enhance nerve sensitivity over time. But it doesn't stop there. Some of these points also have a direct influence on the pelvic floor muscles, the hammock-like muscles that support the penis during an erection and help control ejaculation. Stimulating them can improve their tone and responsiveness, making it easier to maintain firmness once you have it. This is why the effective pressure point work is often twofold. It can help initiate erections more easily and it can also help you hold on to them for longer. When you press or massage the right spots, you're essentially bypassing some of the age-related slowdowns and giving your erection system a direct, hands-on boost. You are manually kickstarting the very processes that your body needs to perform. Now, this hands-on method is incredibly effective, and I'm about to walk you through it step by step. But before I do, what if I told you there's a way to supercharge this entire process from the inside? A bizarrely simple, 100% natural home remedy that takes just 7 seconds a day has been shown to not only support this process, but to reverse the real scientific root cause of male performance problems. This isn't about pills, pumps, or injections. It's a stunning discovery that helps restore the unstoppable hardness and stamina you had in your youth. This is something the multi-billion-dollar industry would rather you not know about. To see this eye-opening video for yourself, point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen right now. It will take you straight to the presentation. I've also placed a direct link in the pinned comment right below this video. This is a complete game changer, and I strongly urge you to watch it. For now, let's get back to the first pressure point you can start using today to begin this journey. The first point we're going to target is called the base groove. This crucial spot sits right at the root of your manhood. To be precise, it's the exact spot where the shaft meets the pubic area on the underside. If you run your fingers along the underside of the shaft toward your body, you'll notice a slight groove or indentation, almost like a natural hinge where the erectile tissue blends into the deeper structures anchored in the pelvis. This area might feel subtly different from the rest of the shaft, perhaps slightly firmer or more textured. And that's because it's a meeting point of important anatomical structures. Why does this spot matter so much? Because beneath your skin right here lies a dense network of sensory nerve endings, including branches of the dorsal nerve of the penis, along with key blood vessel junctions that feed directly into the erectile chambers. Think of it as a control hub where signals from your nervous system and your circulation converge. By stimulating this area, you're essentially lighting up both your nerve pathways and your vascular system at the same time, encouraging better communication between your brain, your spinal cord, and your manhood. Here's how to do it correctly. Position your thumb directly over the base groove, while your fingers cradle the back of the shaft for support. Start with moderate pressure, enough to feel the tissue beneath your thumb, but never to the point of pain. Now, begin to make small, slow, circular motions. You're not just rubbing the skin, you're gently massaging the deeper tissues. Let the warmth of your touch gently spread through the area. As you work, you can gradually increase the firmness of your pressure, especially if you feel the tissue beginning to soften and relax. You might notice a pleasant warmth, a subtle tingling, or even a sense of fullness starting to develop. Those sensations are your body's way of telling you that blood flow is increasing and that your erectile tissue is becoming more responsive. If you don't feel much at first, don't worry. Consistency is key. Over time, daily practice will heighten sensitivity in this area and make the results more noticeable. For best results, work on the base groove for about 90 seconds. The second point we're focusing on isn't actually on the shaft itself, but in a slightly hidden, often neglected area called the perineum. This is that soft, slightly springy patch of tissue located between the scrotum and the anus. Many men overlook it entirely, but in terms of erection strength and control, it's an absolute powerhouse. Why? Because it sits directly above the bulbospongiosus muscle, a key player in maintaining firmness once you're aroused. The bulbospongiosus is one of the main muscles of your pelvic floor, responsible for trapping blood inside the penis during an erection. Think of it as a natural clamp that keeps blood from escaping too quickly. Over time, especially with age, this muscle can weaken if it's not actively engaged, making it harder to maintain strong erections. By applying targeted pressure and massage to the perineal spot, you can reflexively activate this muscle, essentially giving it a workout without even doing a full set of Kegels. This not only strengthens the muscle over time, but also sends nerve signals that promote blood flow and relaxation in the surrounding erectile tissues. To locate it, you can either sit in a comfortable chair or lie back with your knees slightly apart. Using 2 fingers, usually your index and middle finger work best, press gently but firmly into the center of the perineum. You're not pushing hard enough to cause discomfort, but enough to feel the underlying muscle respond. Move your fingers in slow, deliberate circles, staying centered in that sweet spot. As you massage, you may notice subtle sensations building, perhaps a gentle warmth radiating toward your penis or a faint pulsing as blood flow improves. That's your pelvic floor muscles waking up and your circulation responding. Spend 2 to 3 minutes here, keeping your touch steady and controlled. For an added boost, you can pair this with light pelvic floor exercises, like Kegels, either before or after the massage. This combination doesn't just help in the moment, it trains the muscle to contract more powerfully during arousal, making your erections feel fuller and more dependable over time. The perineum may be out of sight, but when it comes to restoring morning vitality, it should never be out of mind. The third and final point is located at one of the most sensitive regions of the male anatomy, right beneath the head of the penis. This is known as the glans, and more specifically, we're targeting the ring-like ridge where the glans meets the shaft, called the corona. This area is packed with an incredibly dense concentration of sensory nerve endings. These nerves are your body's main messengers for sending arousal signals to the spinal cord's erection center. When this spot is stimulated with the right balance of pressure and rhythm, it can heighten nerve responsiveness, making it easier to transition from arousal to a full erection. It's almost like tuning up your body's arousal circuitry, so it responds more efficiently when the time comes. This point works best when the stimulation is controlled. Too much intensity here can overwhelm the nerves and have the opposite effect. The goal is to gently reawaken them. To work this area, gently take hold of your manhood with your thumb and forefinger, positioning them on either side of the corona. Lightly pinch the ridge and hold for about 5 seconds, then slowly release. Repeat this hold and release action for roughly 1 minute, making sure to keep the pressure firm but comfortable. After that, switch to slow, circular motions around the entire circumference of the corona, letting your fingers glide just enough to stimulate the nerve endings without causing friction or irritation. This second minute of circular work helps wake up the sensory pathways even more, encouraging faster signal transmission between the penis and the brain. Over time, consistent stimulation of the glans ring in this moderate, rhythmic way can lead to stronger, more frequent morning erections. You may also notice an improvement in overall sensitivity during intimacy, making arousal feel more natural and spontaneous. Remember, this is not about overwhelming the nerves. It's about gently reconditioning them to respond the way they did in your younger years. Think of it as a daily reminder to your body of how good blood flow and nerve coordination are supposed to feel. The very best results happen when you treat these 3 points not as isolated tricks, but as parts of a single, intentional routine. Here's the sequence I recommend to my patients for maximum benefit. Begin with the base groove for about 90 seconds, making those small, steady circular motions until you feel the area warm and responsive. Then, shift to the perineal spot for 2 minutes, pressing and massaging in slow, deliberate circles to activate the pelvic floor and encourage deeper circulation. Finally, finish with the glans ring for another 2 minutes, using that hold and release technique followed by gentle circular strokes to reawaken nerve sensitivity. Done back to back, this sequence stimulates blood flow, engages muscle support, and sharpens nerve communication, all the key elements needed for firmer, more reliable morning erections. Now, I want to set the right expectation. This is not a magic button that transforms things overnight. Your body needs time to adapt, to retrain those blood vessels, muscles, and nerves to work together again. However, many of my patients start noticing subtle but encouraging changes within just 2 to 4 weeks, improved warmth and fullness in the mornings, erections that last a little longer, and a general feeling of increased vitality in the pelvic area. For truly lasting improvements, pair this daily pressure point routine with healthy lifestyle habits. Staying well hydrated throughout the day keeps your blood volume and circulation at their best. Keeping your pelvic floor strong with exercises like Kegels adds to the firmness you'll notice from this technique. And don't underestimate the power of nutrition. When you make these steps part of your daily rhythm, the benefits tend to multiply. The points become more responsive, circulation improves, and your body begins to remember how to perform the way it once did. It's about creating an environment where strong, natural erections can happen more easily, and doing it in a way that's safe, drug-free, and completely within your control. Gentlemen, you don't have to accept weaker or disappearing morning erections as a normal part of aging. Your body still has the ability to respond. It just needs the right stimulation and support. By pressing these 3 points daily, you can retrain your nerves, restore circulation, and bring back that morning confidence without drugs or risky procedures. If you found this helpful, make it part of your routine and let me know how it works for you. And remember, your sexual health is a reflection of your overall health, so every step you take toward better circulation and muscle tone will pay off in the bedroom and beyond.